To come in here 6 years ago and coming off a 1-8 season and struggle early there and go 3-6 and then, finally break through and make the playoffs there at 5-5 and, just to kind of see how the community came around and to see, for guys like Gene Welty and Paul Henry, guys that have been a part of this staff for 14, 15 years and been through a lot of tough times, I felt good when I could see Coach Henry on the sideline there with tears in his eyes after we won that quarterfinal game. That's what made it special.
It really is a stunning transformation, but at this particular moment in time, Camp Point Central Southeastern is inarguably now a football community first. No disrespect to any of the other formerly calling cards sports programs split over 2 campuses, but on a statewide scale, it is gridiron success that is now most immediately associated with any mention of Central Southeastern. That's what happens when you spend 2 straight seasons in the state rankings and crash a Final Four. That is the very definition of culture change, a process spearheaded in Panther Country, first by Bill Reed, and now accelerated to the nth degree by his one-time coaching protege.
Just the fact that I think they just went out for football just to do something in the fall, and now it's something that they want to do, and we already have our kids wanting to know when the weight room is going to be open, and we told them that we're going to give them some time. That was a long season, and we've got guys that live, eat, and breathe it now, and they're anxious, and guys talking about putting weight on for next year, and it's in the forefront of their mind, whereas in the past maybe it was in the back.
Brad Dixon has taken to calling it commitment from the top down, and he's been part of the institution of that philosophy from the ground floor, something that started as simply as a new directive from his then new boss.
Coach Reed used to say it at the beginning of the year too, if you're not here to win a state championship, then you're in the wrong place.
To his credit, Bill Reed wasn't only grooming a new set of winners in Panther Country, he was also consciously grooming his successor at every turn.
When this job came open back in 2008, I put in for the job, and so did Coach Reed. And I was, I'd had some experience. It was going to be my 6th year coaching football, but I was a first-year teacher, and they just felt at that point in time that it was best that Coach Reed take it over, with the understanding that it was going to eventually be my job. And in doing so, Coach Reed took me along for the entire ride, from everything from the organization to, all conference meetings to order and equipment. He made sure I knew what it took in the background. And, I give him a lot of thanks for that. And because, even though I thought I knew about coaching football, there's so much more administrative stuff where Coach Reed, you never had to worry about that.
That apprenticeship would last 4 years, though Dixon's success as a rising defensive coordinator made him a much sought-after commodity by other schools.
The thing that kept me here was the quality of the coaches and the quality of the kids. I didn't know what I was going to have at other places if those opportunities would have came, but I knew what I had here with the coaches, and I knew they were loyal and committed, and were going to do everything to get us to this level, and they did. And obviously our kids are hardworking kids. They've always been hardworking kids. We've had success in a lot of sports, and it was just a matter of time before, the right things kind of fell together for the football program to be where it is.
Brad's own loyalty was rewarded 2 years ago when Bill Reed demoted himself to offensive coordinator and turned the reins over to Dixon himself. Tellingly, the Panthers haven't lost a regular season game since. But symbolically, it is the 2012 campaign that gave us the truest glimpse of Brad Dixon's coaching potential. It was his first season without Bill Reed on staff, his first without a handful of graduated superstars, and it came on the heels of that dispiriting program loss in the playoffs to Williamsville.
You wondered how we were going to come back after that Williamsville game because we'd worked so hard in the offseason and felt like we put in a lot of time and effort, and then to lose that game that way, are we going to say, well, this was a lot of work and maybe it's too much work, or are we going to say, you know what, let's use this as a rallying point? And our kids did. They weren't content with what we were, and they were out, especially our seniors, out to show that the big name kids had graduated, and Garrett Kessner and Nathan Knuffman and those guys, but we had a lot of guys back that wanted to make a name for themselves, and I think they did that none more than someone like a Douglas Weiss that just hadn't had an opportunity to run the football, and this year he was given that opportunity.
Collectively, the Panthers seized every opportunity to fashion the finest football campaign in program history. But the bigger testament to Brad Dixon's leadership and ability is that no one walked away from that campaign satisfied or patting themselves on the back.
Our goal is to win a state championship, and we fell short this year, and we'll look back and see a lot of great things that we did, but our goal in the back of our mind is we want to get to Champaign or Northern now at this point and have an opportunity to host that big trophy. It's just about, obviously, in the off season getting better and getting stronger, and you know, continue to tweak the things that we do offensively and defensively. You know, we're a little bit different offense than we were a couple years ago with the things that we do. We try to get better at the things that we do. I thought, you know, we emphasized sweep this year, and that was a big reason why Douglas and Dalton had big years. And, you know, defensively, we really gotten better on the defensive line. And in years past, we really focused on blitz and blitz and blitz. And it's just little tweaks here and there. And, you know, obviously continuing to try to outwork everybody. Our goal is to outwork everybody in the area. And, you know, that's what you have to do. And hopefully you'll catch some breaks down the line and have an opportunity to play.